Item number 6. Shall the following advisory question of public policy submitted by elected petition for consideration at the annual town meeting be placed on the ballot for submission to the voters for the November 5, 2024 election? So shall the United States federal government and subordinate divisions stop giving military funding to Israel, which currently costs taxpayers $3.8 billion a year, given Israel's global recognition as an Apartheid regime with a track record of human rights violations?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Again, I offer a reminder that this is simply a vote on whether the question should go on the ballot. As we did for item number 5, I will recognize a spokesperson for the petitioners to offer comments for up to 5 minutes. Is there a spokesperson for this item? Yes, please come forward. State your name.
Hello, my name is Lawrence Bouchard, and I want to thank Latrina Leary, the Township Supervisor. I'd like to thank Stephanie Tarr, the Township and City Clerk, and with a great staff and herself in helping us bring this forward. Very professional. And I want to thank the moderator, Peoria Mayor, Rita Ali. It's a great privilege and honor for this process to play out here at City Hall on April 9th, the occasion of the Annual Township Meeting of Peoria Township. This can't be said enough. Our referendum question reads as follows: shall the United States federal government and subordinate divisions stop giving military funding to Israel, which currently costs taxpayers $3.8 billion a year, given Israel's global recognition as an apartheid regime with a track record of human rights violations? Because we are here because this process allows a rare opportunity for something like direct democracy. We believe this ballot measure is necessary because at every level of government, the voices of people crying out against U.S.-enabled human rights abuses are silenced, ignored, belittled, and mischaracterized. We believe that a referendum question of this nature is a useful and democratic way to measure Peorians' perspectives on an urgent issue of foreign policy implicating our use of collective resources and our national standing with respect to morality and international law. We also believe this referendum question would motivate voters to further educate themselves on the relevant topics so that they can make an informed choice. Finally, we believe that our referendum would send a powerful message to our representatives and policymakers regarding the issues that matter to people. This movement is rooted in a deep concern for universal rights and basic respect for humanity. Thank you to all who join us in pushing our governments in the right direction. Again, we want to thank everyone who made this referendum vote possible. Again, this is just to put the question on the ballot. We would hope that everyone of good faith and serious nature would want to give the people of Peoria Township, which is most of the people here in the city, give them a chance to decide this question and not the elected representatives of any form of government. Let's bring this right to the people. This is a rare opportunity for representative democracy to happen here in Peoria, Illinois, and we want to know if stopping the genocide and stopping the U.S.-funded aspect of that, if that plays in Peoria, and we think it does not. Thank you.
I have a motion to approve.
Aye.
And move. Do you have the name, Madam Clerk?
Could you state your name, please, for the record?
Lawrence Michard.
May I have a second?
Aye.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, could you state your name, please?
Yusuf Boudran,
Could you spell your last name for us, please?
Boudjrane.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion? Yes, please come forward.
My name is Kathy McNeil. Yes, we hear you. Yes, yes, hear you. How else will you hear the voices of those who yell, pray, gather at the protests, at the demonstrations, whatever you prefer to call them? We want to vote. We want to know. We want to hear. We don't just want to hear it out here. Well, I heard that. Well, I saw this. Put it on the ballot, please, people. Isn't this something you care about? We're talking about war. You know, I grew up in the 60s and the 70s. There were protest rallies and burnings, and is that what we want? Or how about what we put it on the ballot? I mean, isn't that reasonable? We want to be reasonable. We're interested in peace. I'm sorry that there are those hearing anti-Semitism calls. I'm sorry. We're sorry. Aren't we? I mean, like I said, would you rather just know about some demonstration on the corner of Main University? Which, by the way, we're going to hold a vigil Friday. We're going to pray for peace and for those who are already destroyed, dead, their homes, their whole country. What they can call their country. I'm not a preacher. I don't mean to sound like one. I'm just a regular Peorian, been here all my life. I don't like hearing bad things said about Peoria, the city, the council, the mayor, the county, the elections. I don't hear negative stuff. This isn't a negative proposal. We want to put it on the ballot. We want to find out if people are willing to say where they stand. We stand for our taxpayer money helping out a war. I know it sounds so like a hippie, peace and love and all that good stuff. All we're saying is give peace a chance, and we want to find out who else is with us. That's all.
Good afternoon, everybody. The reason that we're here today,
Who are you?
my name is Yusuf Boudran. Thank you for reminding me. The reason we're here today is because the ultimate genocide has been happening to over 30,000 innocent individuals in Palestine. When we want to talk about Israel has the right to defend itself, against who? Innocent children, innocent women, innocent men that are just simply trying to survive. when you blow up hospitals, when you blow up schools, when you blow up literally the area where you told people to flee, that is not attacking Hamas or attacking the perpetrators. That is killing innocent people. We here in Peoria, we asked to have this on the ballot for a reason. We understand that the federal government is the one that chooses where the money goes. But if it wasn't for people like us that spoke up, that have marches all around this country and the world wouldn't have spoken up. Unfortunately, the media has always been against the minorities. But social media has actually given us a voice. And that's why everyone knows about the genocide that's going on today. This didn't just happen starting October 7th. The Palestinian people have been under siege for decades and decades. But we have not seen over 30,000 people getting killed in 6 months in history. Now, I will be clear. If we were alive today when the Native Americans were killed, we would stand with the Native Americans. If we were alive today when the Holocaust happened, we would stand with the Jewish people. This is not a religious issue. This is a civilian issue. We're here to speak up for the people that don't have a voice, for the people that don't have food, water, or literally anything except simple breaths to breathe, simple few breaths left to breathe, because they're literally dying. You guys are all here for one reason. We're here to simply ask the opinion of our citizens. We want them to acknowledge that this is an issue. We have a right to stand. We have a right to put things on a ballot. We have a right to be here. We're not saying that we want anything besides people to speak up and be there for the people that are in pain. Thank you.
It's Terry Gray. I wasn't planning to speak, but first of all, I'd like to say that a long time ago, when I was a member of the Peoria Peace Network, I actually was at the Peoria Public Library when Matt Hale was here. I was there with the chairs were flying, and people from Chicago anti-racist action were here, and we protested Matt Hale. So I believe that one can be for the referendum and also defend against fascists and not be anti-Semitic. Another thing I'd like to say is I believe that this referendum should be on the ballot. One thing is Peoria is very much involved in Israel and Palestine. Caterpillar Tractor does make bulldozers that are used in the West Bank primarily to bulldoze houses. And finally, I would like to say that people should just be allowed to vote in this referendum. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Meyerford, resident of East Bluff, and not intend on speaking tonight. I'm rather disturbed that I'm actually going to repeat this man's name, but his name was brought up tonight, and that's Matt Hale. I was not afraid to confront him. I was at ICC fighting him. I was at Bradley fighting him when he had his supporters go on a rampage in Skokie, in Evanston. My friends and I were right there. I am not okay with what's going on with the Israeli government. However, I value human lives, both sides, and I think that's what's important here. We need to recognize both sides. And I just think that, again, this referendum does need to go forward. It's our chance to use our voices. Regardless of how you view things or what you think, it's not about picking sides. It's life or death. And that goes for Israelis, it goes for Palestinians, it goes for anybody in the world. But we should have a voice in everything. And that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Diaz, and I'm just really going to repeat what they said. And I feel like the reason why it should be on the ballot, even though it's not going to give us a definitive answer for anything. It's because we still do matter, we still have a voice, and I mean, the things that are going on across the world is being funded by our tax monies, and I feel like we have a right to say whether or not we want it to go through. I mean, it's not just Palestinians that are, facing this issue, but just recently 7 more kitchen workers were murdered by the IDF. So I think it's also, we should just have a say when we want our money going. Again, we may not impact things on a national level, but we still do matter and we still have a voice. I mean, that's why we're here, to raise our voice, to amplify our voice, to let them know where we stand in this matter. And I think if you guys are representing Peoria, you should, closely take a look on how we're hearing and how we're showing that. But that's all that I wanted to say.
Assalamu alaikum, greetings of peace. My name is Imam Nasir Mahmoud. When you have 300 Holocaust survivors condemning what's happening in Gaza and calling it an annexation of a people, then that speaks for itself. This has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. The Palestinian people are Semitic people. Jews who are the Jewish population who is condemning what Israel is doing, they're also Semites and they're anti-Israel. It has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. And that is why I say here today, my friends, as we gather here today, we are confronted with a profound moral imperative that transcends borders and ideologies. We stand at a crossroads where the choices we make will shape the destiny of countless lives halfway across the globe. In the words of the late Nelson Mandela, to deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. He also said, we know too well that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinian people. These words resonate with timeless truth and urgency, reminding us that our commitment to justice defines our shared humanity. Similarly, my dear friends, Martin Luther King Jr. cautioned. He said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. These words are not mere platitudes, but guiding principles that illuminate our path forward. As of now, in Gaza, somebody said we don't mention Gaza, in Gaza, over 35,000 lives have been lost, countless families shattered, and communities devastated by relentless violence, occupation, and oppression. The plight of the Palestinian people is a stark reminder of the enduring legacy of injustice and the urgent need for action. We cannot turn a blind eye to their suffering, nor can we remain complicit in the perpetuation of their oppression through our silence in the name of normalcy. Today we have the opportunity to stand on the right side of history. As we cast our votes for this to be on November's ballot, let us remember the words of Nelson Mandela, for to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Let us honor the sacrifices of those who have come before us by taking a stand for justice and liberation. You can just check the trajectory of a week before October 7th. This did not start on October 7th. It's a 75-year-old plight. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Pauline. I'm from Kenya. Just a question should be in the ballot because again, America saying Israel to our tax money to Israel to kill more Palestinians. Let me tell you something. Most people don't know that probably. That Israel is not the victim. Israel is the buyer. Okay? Occupy Palestine in 1948 and keep on doing that. So that's why we should not be rewarding. The only victim there is the Palestinians. And they are defending themselves. They're not killing Jews or they're against the Jews. It's the opposite. Palestinians are the victims in this case. Let me give you an example. My husband's family, Islam's side, were kicked out of their cities, all of them are in Brazil. My husband was 38 years old when he met his family from Islam's side. And they're not the only ones. Lots of Palestinians were kicked out of their country, and that's why they are the victims. And they're not fighting the Jews, like I said. They are fighting they are against the occupation, and that's the problem there. Last year, I was in Israel for Palestine. I went to the city called Ein Kerem. Ein Kerem is where Elizabeth lived there. Elizabeth is the cousin of Mary. Then, okay, I saw lots and lots of houses, Palestinian side, Arab side, with Arabic writing on them. However, there is a big church there, a beautiful church. Not even one Arabic Palestinian person lives there. It's all taken by Israelis, they live there, they have businesses there, and that's the problem, which you don't know. Okay, so that's why. So occupation started in 1948. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. I didn't know what I heard now, so I have to respond. We should pray for justice. Everyone needs justice for all, not for certain people who kill other people. Pray for more than 35,000 people were killed since October 7. The problem is not October 7. The problem started in 1948 and before that. So, in case you don't know, this is the situation right now. Thank you for listening.
A couple of things I'm going to mention. Was a very, very kind of strong speech. I think what you heard first, but this has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. Palestinians, Arabs in general, Christians and Muslims in the Arab world, they never were anti-Semite. They were not responsible for the Holocaust. They were never did anything to the Jews. Actually, quite to the contrary. Whenever there was any issue, particularly in Europe, the Jews who ran away from Europe, they went to Muslim and Arab countries, and they were basically welcomed, just like everybody else. I want to just tell you, just go and look for an interview by Muhammad. He is the father of one of the very most famous losing my words. Models. Hadith. Muhammad Ali. Okay? Just listen to the interview of how they were kicked out of their house prior to 1948, and you'll understand. Okay? So it has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. As we're an apartheid state, you don't have to listen to us here. Listen to actually some groups in Israel itself. These groups in Israel, they call it an apartheid state. Listen to Jimmy Already, who's an Israeli journalist, and listen to what he says about the situation in the Palestinians in the land of Palestine, occupied Palestine called Israel. West Bank has nothing to do with October 7th. Look at what's going on in West Bank. It has been going on. So, yeah, this is a federal issue. So, again, we're just asking for a vote to put this on the referendum so that people can state their opinion, so that our representatives know where the people of Peoria stand. This is all what we're asking for. Yeah, it's a federal issue. The federal government will decide, but what is a better way than for us to do a referendum to tell our representatives that where we stand? And thank you.
I have two parts.
My mother's family came to this country from Poland, where their villages chased out by Russian troops of Caucasus and were forced to flee to the United States. And we have a word for that called a pogrom. A pogrom was happening in Gaza. And I noticed several people questioned the applicability of saying that Israel internationally recognized as an apartheid state. People asked, who was saying this? Well, it's all of the international organizations that the United States normally uses to make reports on that, such as Amnesty International, such as Human Rights Watch, such as the UN Special Rapporteur on Palestine, the UN Human Rights Council, and the two largest Israeli human rights organizations, B'Tselem and Yesh Din. So even the Israeli human rights community recognizes the treatment of Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza in the form of apartheid, as does the government of South Africa, who is probably the international expert on the apartheid. So when we say that who is determining this, it is all the organizations that we as a country and our government normally use to determine whether a country is violating the human rights of a group of people. These are all the organizations that say China oppresses the Uyghurs. These are all the organizations that say that Saudi Arabia oppresses the Yemen. This is all the organizations that said that Serbia oppressed Bosnia. And it's only in this one instance that we choose not to recognize their authority or their investigation into these affairs. I'd also point out that if someone would say, why not Saudi Arabia? Why not Turkey? Yes, I would be in favor of the United States government not giving arms and money to any country found to be violating the human rights of either a group of people within its borders or outside its borders. I think our foreign policy is deplorable. And I think I'm not being able to vote on all of those other things. I'm only being able to vote on this. This is the only thing that I'm being able to vote on. And given the history of my own family's immigration to this country and why they immigrated, because they were Jews, I cannot in good conscience support the same actions being taken against another group of people, and then to say that it be done in my name as an American, someone of Jewish descent, or as someone who does truly want peace. All hostages should be released. Both the Palestinians that were captured long before October 7th and the Israelis that were captured on October 7th. And in addition to that, I don't think it's come up. October 7th happened because of what happened.
Your time is up, sir.
Hello, my name is Nick Berman, and I think I might have back to my business Mr. Walden did when he came up here. Just to point out, I know a lot of people have expressed concern about the wording of the proposal that might be misleading, but I think actually it is many of us that have been misled by the media here in the U.S. I think the U.S. media and the state of Israel are some of the only international bodies that haven't recognized Israel as an apartheid regime, and that to not call it out as such actually would be the misleading thing. Just a few notes. At Israel's 5-year Universal Periodic Review in January 2015, 8 Palestinian human rights organizations submitted a joint 60-page report detailing Israel's creation of an institutionalized regime of systematic racial domination and oppression over the Palestinian people as a whole, which amounts to the crime of apartheid in violation of Article 3 of the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination. The 2023 former Human Rights Watch Director Kenneth Roth said that his organization has long refrained from interpreting the reality on the ground in terms of apartheid as long as there was a chance that peace process would succeed. However, since in his view the process is going nowhere and the Israeli government is undermining the solution, Roth concluded that Israel's policies in the West Bank have all the elements of the oppressive discrimination that constitute apartheid. The World Bank found in 2009 that Israeli settlements in the West Bank, which amount to 15% of the population, were given access to 80% of the freshwater resources, despite the fact that the Oslo Accords called for joint management of such resources. In January 2012, the Foreign Affairs Committee of the French Parliament published a report calling Israel's water policies in the West Bank as a lesson serving the new apartheid. There are many more examples. Amnesty International condemned an Israeli court decision forcibly evicted by 100 Palestinian veterans, saying the judgment shows deep discrimination that Palestinian citizens of Israel face under apartheid. And there are many more examples.
My name is Valerie Home. I live in Peoria right here. But I have to say that I feel like tonight, watching you for me as a political activist, I was in high school in the 90s. Recently, I'm not Jewish, but I joined a group of Jewish activists called Never Again Action to oppose the anti-Semitic border. I'm strongly in support of putting this on the ballot. It should go on the ballot. I would very proudly vote yes for it. So I don't need to say what everyone else has already said. We've already heard it all. You can't hear it. I've already heard it before. But what I do want to say is, what we are voting on tonight is stop funding. We're voting on whether or not this should appear on the ballot. We live in the United States. This is supposed to be a representative democracy. Less than 1% of Peorians can outspend. We are going to decide what the rest of Peoria gets to vote on. Do you want Peorians get to vote on something, or do you want to gatekeep that? Do you want to bar them from even being able to vote on something that they may agree with and may disagree with? If you're going to vote no tonight, I think that you should probably ask yourself why you're voting no. Are you voting no because you don't agree? Are you voting no because you don't stand with Palestine? Or are you voting no because you're truly afraid of what the people of Peoria are voting to say?
So that motion fails with 67 days and 93 days. Motion fails. Thank you, Madam Moderator.